Hello everyone, this is Jim Sofrilis. As most of you know me, probably from my YouTube channel and my online gaming alias, I'm Hazard Reborn. For those of you that are not aware of it, I have been of lately trying to get a team together and mostly, for the most part, doing a lot of the stuff on myself as well. Trying to get a team together for game development, and we're working on our first title. This is it here, Operation Hellstorm, and it's been a while since our last update. It's been a month now since the project started, and we have we've been working on the concept phase, which is getting the art design, more or less the direction of what the characters are going to be like, backstories to each and every one of them. We've even had some quick work on the heads-up display, what the layout will be like, explanations for it, what it could look like in game. Of course, this is a screenshot from Crysis 3 itself, just to see how it all plays up against colors and stuff. What else have we done so far? We've also, more backstory. We've created our own galaxy map, some of the first regions that are going to be included in this game. This game is a first-person shooter arena game, pretty much. Think of Unreal Tournament meets Quake meets Crysis, more or less. This is pretty much a count of all the features that are going to be part of the game. It's in short, it's the best of 20 years in FPS arena games, plus more all in one. So we're not sticking to classic ideas alone. We're not sticking to modern ideas alone either. We're trying to take the best out of each world and put them all together into one title. Some other things that we've done in our concept phase are the map here. This was just the drawing for what is going to be our first milestone, which we're trying to create our first character. That being this character here, the Brock, the main model for the Brock. That's the first character we're going to try to model. We will model in 3D and try to get it done in a timely fashion. The first milestone also for us to actually get this game up and running, because we've launched a crowdfunding campaign for it as well, and we'll see how that goes, and hopefully we'll keep it open for funding after that. The first milestone that we're trying to accomplish includes that character, includes the first weapon, which is actually technically 3 weapons that we're going to build for the first version, and this is the first map that we're going to create, which is the Omega Beacon. It's a satellite, defensive satellite kind of a thing. So with this update, it's been a while since we actually had another update on our website and everything. On this update, I'm going to cover what we've been working on and what I've been doing with regards to the map. I'm going to show you some images of the first basic models, of basic layout of what the map was going to be, more or less. And this is it here, and its scale and everything. Some more pictures. This is the next phase. This is pretty much what it's at right now. We're making the collision object at the moment. Just the collision object. Of course, it's we've made it into an actual visible object as well, but it won't be the actual state that you'll see in the end, in the final product. The final product will have much more detailed assets, of course, with textures on them, bumps, surfaces, and a whole bunch of other materials. But this is, for the most part, the design where it's up to at the moment. Some more tests here, other tests here, and this is what it looks like at the moment in the Cryengine. We're using Cryengine to build our game, hence the Quake meets Unreal Tournament meets Crisis part. That's the Crisis part, the visuals, more or less. We're using the Crisis engine. So yeah, this is the based on the first model, this one here, that we had created just as a first little mock-up. Based on this, we have actually reached the point where this is the model that we have created so far, and it's only around about 50% complete. At the moment, we're trying to get all the collision, the basic collision model of it down, figured out. Get some test runs on it among ourselves, and see how it plays out, see how the whole map, the size, the scale, the viewpoints. I mean, how balanced each location is with regards to all the other locations that you can see, spawn points, strategy basically on the whole map, and how we're going to balance it all out. So there's a lot to do. As you can see, we have this area here is empty. The red indicates a portion that we're actually creating right now. So we have this area here to complete, a little bit of this area here, and pretty much everything underneath this. We have that corner up there as well to complete, and everything underneath what you see here, which is, let's see if I can get it, all this down here. That's why it looks so empty. Needs to be completed as well. We've made for the most part, the middle and top sections, as you would see. Yeah, so let's check it out and get a couple of test runs. So yeah, it was based on, this was the first, like I said, the first concept drawing. Then we went to, this is the first mock-up model, and this is the current state that it's in at the moment. So we're going at a pretty good pace, Recently this is it here. Recently I just fixed a lot of the atmospherics, skies and stuff. Most of this is just stock lighting, stock things, stock everything from the Cryengine itself. Even the flares that we have here, we haven't actually made our own flares yet, but well, the Cryengine really does provide some really cool visuals, so we're going to be using that probably right up until the beta phase or the late alpha phase. We're more concerned with actually getting into creating and designing all the rest of the parts of the game for the moment. So this is the map in real time here. Today I actually went through the trouble of, I was really getting annoyed with that plain color. I mean, the whole thing is just a plain color at the moment, and I really wanted to test out the shadows, because our game as an idea, it also focuses a lot on, it focuses quite a bit, whoa, that's not good. Noticing a small flare through the ground there. All these are to be fixed, obviously. Let's see if I can maybe move this a little bit down. Fix that. Alright. It's going to have a lot of focus on, it's going to focus a lot on if you're able to, how well you're able to see your enemy among every other thing that we're going to be balancing in this game. So working in the dark, in the shadows and all that stuff is really an important part of the game. So so I sat down and today tried to place in all, started to place in the lights so we can have a better testing for it. Of course, there are two ways that we're going to be testing the stage. One of them is with this lighting, so we can see how it all falls into place with regards to the shadows, and the other, it will of course be with much larger where we got the sky color multiplier 5. you know, much larger, much brighter kind of field, so we can see what is happening exactly and actually be able to properly balance the map out. So, you know, this lighting that we got here now, let's go real time for it. For some strange reason, the weapon has, I don't know what, some option in the actual Crysis engine. Haven't really bothered with figuring it out. For some reason, when you're not near lights, the weapon disappears. Of course, this is just pre-alpha build, pre-alpha. This is not even, you know, this is work in progress. So one lighting model that we're going to be testing it in is this here, and there's the gun, and there's one again, and it keeps disappearing, and I have no idea why it keeps doing that. Anyway, that's just, everything is stock at the moment. The only thing that we have actually made is the map itself. And yeah, so one of the testing ways we're going to be testing it is with this lighting model, so we can actually test the map out itself. And the other lighting model will be, of course, its actual lighting model, which is here. That's the proper lighting model that it's going to have. There's still a lot of lights missing that I haven't placed. I'm going to place those in. Next thing I do, and then finish up the rest of the... Oh, now the weapon is visible again. Now it's invisible again. Oh, okay. No idea why it's doing that. I have the feeling that it's shadow, not sure. Anyway. So yeah, we've placed a couple of lights around, and I'm going to place in the rest of them as well, just so we can be doing proper tests, both with full lighting in place and no lighting. And yeah, this is our update. This is pretty much what we've been up to. And I'm dead. This is what we have been working on. If you've been wondering, trying to get the map, the collision of the map done. As I was saying, the bottom level has not been modeled at all. Everything is just open space and just two ladders reaching down here for the time being. And two more down there, starting the fourth ones. Okay, now to show you around the map how it's coming along. This is very early stage. This is very early work in progress. The idea of the map is it's called Omega Beacon. It's a satellite station for the Brock. Okay, the light is what's causing the weapon to disappear for some strange reason. I don't understand why. As soon as I get into the light, it disappears. There. No idea why it does that. Anyway, it's called Omega Beacon. It's a satellite, a defensive satellite more or less, for the Brock faction. Let's see if I can make that jump. There we go. And it's yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. The entire map obviously is divided into locations that actually should make sense. Let me just increase a little bit, just a little bit the lighting so we can see what's going on here. Sky multiplier, let's put that on 1. Nope, just a little bit. Let's see. 0.5 should be good. Just so we can see a little bit what's going on. Okay. Each location to the map, actually, we're trying to design everything on the map. That's not good. Okay, and I just noticed something that should not be like that. We have Houston, we have a problem. Alright, I think I probably moved it before when I was fiddling around with the map. So let's fiddle it back to where it should be. Which is actually right about, let's see. It should be around about there, and okay, I have no idea why it's done this. I mean, I probably moved it like I said before accidentally, but anyway. I'm guessing that should be there. I got all the coordinates down anyway, so I can make sure it's 100%. The height is right. Needs to go more that way. Not that much. Obviously, I'm just testing it out. Something is a little bit off with this for some strange reason. It shouldn't have done this at all. Something tells me all my fiddling around before I screwed it up. Anyway. Let's see how that is now. Yeah, it's just a tad off. How about you? So that's not right. Anyway, that and import-exports have been doing a lot of freaky stuff lately, so chances are we're gonna have to probably import-export everything again at some point. Alright, so this is moved as well. Okay, let's see if I maybe moved something as I was. And a closed program operation. Woo! See if I maybe moved something around accidentally. Yeah, as I was saying, the map is a satellite. It's a defense satellite for the Brock. So each location, we're trying to actually make the entire map balanced for 5 versus 5 scale, as well as have meaning to every single location and every single part to the map itself. We don't want it to be. Is this right? That seems right. We don't want it to be, you know, just arbitrary stuff all over the place. We actually want it to have meaning and purpose for being there. Yeah, this whole thing has been moved, I think. Okay, so I'm guessing that This is actually correct. I think I know what the problem is. I'll just fix this real quick and get back into showing you the actual map, what we've accomplished so far. So this seems in place. No, it does not. Looks like a whole area has been moved. This has been moved. Okay, I know what's going on here. The entire map itself has moved, the main one, and I think I did that while I was moving one of the lights around. So I'm gonna have to just press that back there. And let's see. Hopefully that's close enough for now. Well, it feels close enough. This is a little bit of a hard jump to actually manage here, so not that hard. So let's see again. Okay, yep, looks about right. Lighting here should not come through at all. That's just some of the issues with the shadows we've been creating. Perhaps it's the quality of the shadow as well. Anyway, it's good enough for a test run. So this looks normal now. So does this. Good. Let's see if the rest of it is normal. Back to the way it should be. This one here. Yep. This is normal. And so is this. Great. Okay. Probably 1 inch towards the east, whatever that side is, the north. Okay. And for some strange reason we have overlapping objects here which were never created like that, but okay. Whatever. These are only going to be collisions anyway, so we just want to make sure that the collisions are purposefully on some points overlapping, because we noticed, not just in this game but in other games as well, you notice a lot of times the problems that are created with collisions. You might get stuck between geometry, you might actually even fall through the ground. I mean, even in some of the latest games, we still end up seeing titles that have that problem and they end up, falling through the ground. So obviously we want to make sure that our game is free of such problems. Our map is designed, and we want to make sure that you don't fall through any geometry at all in our map. It's one of the most important things when you know, for designing this layout. And then these actual models, they won't exist later on. You won't be able to see these. Will be this will be the collision model, and we'll just drop in all the other things that we're going to create. So I'll just do a run now with a little bit of light. So I can show you what the stage is about. Overall, we have the landing dock here for military crafts and stuff like that, and this side as well, which is just gonna have military craft, but it's gonna probably have a different purpose to it. Maybe a second engineering dock we're thinking of, or a fueling dock as well. And we have launch pad down here for all normal crafts, another launch pad up there, the one with the lights, red lights flickering. This is going to be the freighter dock. Underneath is where the freight is taken, the top is where the workers actually go, which is going to have a freight bay down here. So there's an entire mentality behind the stage and every single part to it. Over here it's the engineering dock and the equipment dock, the equipping bay, the loadout bay, you might say, for all the crafts and other things that, you know, getting ready to actually send them out if need be. This here is the armory. This red thing in here is going to be the armory, and the barracks up above it, which is going to be kind of relatively open, you know. The armory, that's going to be equipping the military crafts, which are going to be here, and hopefully we're going to have probably well, we can leave it empty at the beginning, but we're thinking of later on probably filling it up like 4 crafts. This is the main bay here. One of the more open areas, which of course all of these areas will be, you know, they'll be filled up with more or less with a lot of little assets and little, you know, boxes and different equipment and different stuff like that, you know, computers, desks, and a whole bunch of things. So it's not going to be this empty, but the general layout is what we're trying to figure out. If it's good, if, you know, trying to balance out the general the general layout, and see how that works. Sorry, I'm a little bit slow. It's actually 5 o'clock in the morning, and I haven't slept today. Hard at work as always, and there's going to be a lot of extra things that's going to be added to the stage. So this is just a general collision model for the actual structure itself, and there's going to be obviously a lot of extra things in there. This is the underneath the underground bay, whatever it's called, which I think that this whole area here could be the engineering dock, which leads off to the loadout, you know, this engineering bay here, and connects to the armory as well. And at the same time, we have the freighter bay down there. This circular round thing here in the middle is actually the gravity core. It's going to be closed. It's going to have like a generator and a gravity core. It creates the atmosphere and the gravity for the station. And we're thinking that probably we can actually have a trigger here during the map that if you damage it enough, you can actually disable the gravity for a certain range, a certain period of time, for I don't know, like a minute or 5 minutes until it gets back up, which changes the entire physics, would change the entire physics for the map and create zero gravity, zero G conditions. This here is the crew quarters. All this here is going to have like, you know, probably going to be just closed off completely. But if we can actually make a nice, get a nice design going to it, probably leave it as an area that you can fight through as well. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Going to be a lot of turrets around, antennas, satellite dishes, boxes, you know, a whole bunch of stuff all over the place, so it's all going to be filled up. It's not just the model itself of the map that's going to be replaced, it's also going to be all the extra little assets all over the place. I mean, this here, for example, this is the setting for the one of the main turrets that's going to be included, and so on and so forth. This here is, this map is actually designed initially for 5 versus 5 encounters. You know, 2 teams, team arena of 5 versus 5. And judging from the actual skill, it might actually be, with the bottom level complete as well, it might actually be suitable for 8 versus 8 as well, which is the largest that this game is aiming for. This title is aiming for 8 versus 8 matches. So this is one of the spawning area for one of the teams, and the other spawning area is this here. So the 2 landing docks are the spawning areas. Now the bottom team actually has access to the bottom level faster, much faster, which is a little bit disadvantaged, but it has access to a lot more smaller concealed locations on the go, whereas the top one gives you access to the upper grounds a little bit faster, a little bit sooner, which is to an advantage, but it has more open areas to it. I mean, like this here, it's not finished at the moment, but it will be, by comparison, more open and less complex with regards to this area and this side here, which has more corridors, more rooms, more places to hide and stuff. You know, the entire, this whole side here is going to be more, you know, concealed in a way. So each side has an advantage and a disadvantage to it, and of course teams will be swapping around and changing around, so it will be always balanced out. And from then on, the whole idea is to actually test the map out extensively again and again and again, and see what problems we come across with regards to balancing, and fix them, change them around and stuff. So yeah, let's do a little run now. Running on this here is gonna have corridors and stuff. So this is maybe all this open area here is not going to be like this. That's one of the first spawning areas. Really don't understand why the weapon is disappearing. It's really pissing me off. Anyway, hopefully that's just an issue with the standard stock items for the Cryengine, and we won't have a problem with the weapons that we're gonna load up and the more detailed lightings and stuff that we're going to create. Hopefully, one can hope. Okay, so from this location here, one of the ways of getting up to the upper deck is from here. Another thing obviously is also that this is the basic Crisis and Cryengine movement. Our game is going to have much faster speed, larger jumping as well, longer jumping. It's going to have wall runs, rocket jumps, a whole bunch of stuff into it. So that's one way of getting to this level here from the bottom place. The other one is, kill ourselves. The other one is, as you come from the launch pad, it's the main ladder there, that main ramp, which will again lead up into there. And A third, you have a couple more options on the other side. The third option is coming from here. We really need to make faster speeds, really reach the Quake arena speeds, more or less, is what we're aiming at. The other way you can go is from here. Okay, for some strange reason I can't walk up it. Ah, he's moving very slowly. This is really strange actually, because the first time I designed this part of the level and I tested it out, he was going up it very fast. After a while it started slowing down, and this here has to be like the slowest I have ever seen it go. It's ridiculous. So obviously we're gonna have to change a lot of that. You know what? That's the beauty of... Okay, so you run up here, and from here you can jump to the top level from here. Okay, and that's the beauty of being able to have no clipping on. Anyway, it's going to be able to, you're going to be able to run up on inclined edges a little bit more, so we're going to increase the angle that you can actually climb up on. Longer and higher jumps while running, of course, like I said before, and faster running. So hopefully it's going to be a lot more fun in the end. As you saw, that was one way of climbing up. There was the third way of getting again to the main area, which is this area here. Okay, that's where the ramp actually climbs up. You can see from underneath, that's the ramp there. So this area here is the most open area in the entire map, giving you freedom of more, you know, full-on assault encounters and stuff, you know, shooting everybody down. We want to make the maps as, you know, as minimal with regards to linearity as we possibly can. And we're seeing a lot of strange things here. Okay. This was never designed with that edge there. I mean, we're having some small issues. I mean, I personally have never worked with the Cryengine, and we started this project about a month ago, and a couple of weeks ago we started with doing 3D work, working on our concepts in 3D, and a short while after that we started making the map, and it's pretty straightforward, but there's a lot of things that we're still learning. There's a lot of things that we're still trying to get our heads around and figure out. So yeah, I've done most of the work here on the map, probably 90% of the work. Another thing, for example, here we have this collision box which allows you to climb up. In the actual game it's going to be a pipe. You know what I mean? So that's just one of the really obvious and good examples to give how it's actually going to change for the final model. This collision object here is going to be a pipe, and it's going to have like probably like a double pipe or something, you know, underneath it, the way it's all going to be connected and stuff. But the actual collision object itself is going to be this here, to make sure that it's also climbable, because if you're going to make a, you know, the physics in the Cryengine are really good, and if you're going to make an edge that's going to have some kind of inclined side to it, you're going to slowly slide off it. And the idea of these here is not to make it completely difficult to get onto. Have a little window here to get onto. As you can see, it's going to start sliding a little bit, I think. No? Oh. Okay, good. Just try and check out some more corners because you're not supposed to be able to climb up that. But you can climb up this. So this is how you get to the top of the map, which is also going to have a couple of big turrets here, a couple of radars and antennas and stuff. You know, you're going to be, and it's going to be the only one of the few locations that you're going to be able to aim at. One of the spawn points, which we're trying to figure out a way. We're going to put some assets and block it out so you won't be able to aim at it. The whole idea is that the spawning points, the main spawning points, even though there's going to be 2 more spawning points after that in the stage all over the place, and maybe even more. The main idea is that the spawning points are unreachable by any angle, and you'll always be spawning on the side where there are no enemies. And just like this side here, you can't see anybody, and you can't. We created that on the go. This compartment kind of thing here for that purpose alone, to make sure that you can't shoot these guys. And there's going to be another wall for this side here as well. That's going to block your view to that. All this area here is going to be closed in more or less. And this here looks really cool, and it also works functionally in the idea of what the game is, the idea of the map itself as a story. And we're trying to figure out if we can use it somehow into the game, like a sniping point or something, but we'll see how we can balance that out and if it can be used or if it's going to be just two useless parts of the map that are just the looks of it. Which is okay to have a couple of those, as long as everybody knows it's useless. It doesn't actually force you to go there, it's out of your way, so it's going to be just for the looks. Okay, so that was pretty much from the one spawn point, your options more or less. Now the second spawn point, which is here, we're going to put these lights on the other side as well, beacon lights and stuff, and another one in the middle here. The second spawn point, again you have some options like running up across the walls. Later on, once we're going to put wall running, you can go from here, and you have a little bit of a faster, but actually a much faster, there straight away to the main area. So you have a much faster way of actually getting here to this location here, and you also have quicker access from this spawn point to the rooftops from here. So it kind of puts you in advantage with regards to higher ground. Okay, but that's about it. It's not as concealed as the other location. It ultimately, balance each side out to have its own perks when we're going to design this side as well. One of the things that I wanted to show you was some more examples here. For example, you can jump down there, and in the game, in the final build, hopefully you'll be able to wall run across here and go up into those ledges there. So there are a couple locations, or here you can jump up to the wall, use this wall as a wall running tactic to actually go across, or from here a rocket jump across instead of going all the way down here and going around. So we want to give you we want to make the maps fluent, and we're thinking of both Unreal Tournament and Quake Live actually, because they're really among the best games pretty much historically that have made it in this kind of first-person shooter arena mentality. So we want to make the maps very fluent for you to be able to go around many ways, do a whole bunch of stuff, and be able to be able to fluently rocket jump around, run on walls, but we don't want to make it that you can run too far walls. So the locations and the parts that you can actually use while running are just a few. The rest of it will be just whichever location you deem necessary to actually dodge an opponent. One of the screenshots that I showed at the beginning, there was the red thing that I was building here, which actually allows you to walk into this. I think, yep, it allows you to walk into this here. Let's see it from the bottom side. Oh yeah, and fall damage, much less fall damage. I mean, we got cyber demonic demons, you know, I mean, we got cyber demon kind of things. We have bionic warriors, we have exoskeleton wielding aliens, and artificial intelligence robots. So, you know, fall damage is not going to be that much of an issue in this game. Okay, that up there is where the other ledge was being created at the moment, which actually, if some of you noticed in the screenshot, actually no idea what that is. Okay, it's this part here. So now we're walking around this area here, and that all is going to be where you walk up into that place. But as you can see, it stops there. And the whole idea to it is so you can wall run from here across onto that, or from the top come down here again, or whatever else you want to do. So there are a couple locations that you will need to wall run, as we have already designed at the moment for the map up to this point. You'll be able to wall run from there to there. Some other small hidden locations, you know, that will be able to come here to snipe the enemy. And of course, this is going to have its own obstacles all over the place, and we're going to see how all that balances out. So yeah, you'll be able to wall run across this hopefully, and fall onto the ledge here, and then follow it across and go back in here. So yeah, and the smaller look, just a very fast look with the proper lighting model, but without all the lights that will be in the actual final build. This is kind of the feel that we're going for. You have more lights all over the place, obviously, and stuff. There's going to be some very dark locations. I mean, obviously not these ones. These are very basic locations. They shouldn't be dark. Okay, so this is the general feel that we're going for overall. That's one of the things that I'm trying to really hit spot on at the moment. Despite the fact that it's just meant to be the collision object, it's, the next thing that I'm really looking into making sure that goes well is the lighting and the whole feel of it, the atmosphere, the way that it actually feels. Most of the things, like I said, are stock, even the stars. I mean, of course, we've done quite a few little adjustments to them to make them look like this. But even the stars are just a stock star in the sky of the Cryengine. We're gonna create our own skybox, our own stars, our own whole bunch of things actually part of this all over the place. So this is what it looks like at the moment. Let's go underneath as well. This is the other location underneath, and the feel that it's going to be creating more or less. The engineering bay down there. So the engineering is kind of getting the feel of a more yellow light. The blue area is more of the main general area that you're going to be fighting in, and the most important part of the map, you might say, the most open area. The rest of them will kind of have some red lights to them, like the Armory and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much the feel we're going for. Let's climb up to the top. we're really pleased with the workflow on the Cryengine. Very fluent engine, and so far so good. I mean, don't want to jinx it, but it's really fun. Really a lot of fun so far. This is the other location I forgot to show. You get up here from climbing that ladder thing down here from over there, and instead of going up to the roof, you can actually come here straight in the middle. Or you get this area here, which has a hole in the ground. Unfortunately, you have to put lights so you can actually see it here. This is the other place that I said before you could actually wall run across to, you know, and you can even climb up this here. There we go. So try not to make linear maps. You want to make, you know, have your wits about you, making sure that you're looking below, you're looking above, you're looking in every corner and every side. And with the right lighting, in the right locations, gonna see if we can balance it out. Make concealment a part of the game as well. How much can you see over there? How much can you see of an enemy? How much do they shine? For example, their armors for the robots, the more visible enemies, or the demonic creatures are more, they're less metallic, they can hide in the shadows more, but they have less health. So we have a lot of balancing like that to take care of as well. For the most part, this is the general map. Yeah, this is Omega Beacon. Hope you like it, and hope you like the final version even more when it's ready. It's actually shaping up to be quite a lot of fun making this map. A lot of fun actually. So yeah, gotta look stupid with just a hand. Anyway. Yeah. Just check it out. From far away again. That's pretty much our map. Some things left too. It's 50% complete at the moment. We're just doing, like I said, the collision and the lighting, trying to fix the entire lighting. I mean, we've only just started on putting lights into it. And that's well, it's our first video blog, you might say. Update to Operation Hellstorm. And this is what we've been working on, and also the reason why we haven't had too many updates lately. We've been hard at work trying to get all this created. Hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave some feedback and thoughts on all this. What do you think it all, how it all will play out? Opinions generally are always welcome. Yeah. Personally, I'm really excited. It's really shaping up. I've been running around it quite a bit. It's shaping up to be a pretty fun map. It should be a lot of fun. Even without the new and the changed mechanics, it should be a lot of fun. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix some of those lights up. No idea why all of a sudden it started. It wasn't doing that before, so it's obviously an option. It started. Yeah, I got my spec on very high. This is what the low spec looks like. Basically doesn't have any lights in some areas. Holy crap. Medium spec. High. Now we get the lights very high. Anyway. See how it all plays out. Okay, that was it. Hope you enjoyed it. And feel free to give us some, leave some feedback.